Hello viewers, in this lecture we are going to discuss the nomenclature of coordination compounds according to the IUPAC rules. Okay, so like organic chemistry we have rules to write the name of a organic compound. Here also we have some set of rules to write the name of a coordination compound. Okay, so if you know these rules you can write name for any complex very easily. Okay, but you have to work out on these rules. What are the rules to write the name? Okay, so those all we discuss one by one. Okay, so very simple. Just focus on the rules, not on the complex name. Okay, if you know the rules, you can write for any complex, right? Okay, so here first rule is order of naming of complex. Okay, order of the naming of the complex. Already we discussed complex are two types. The complex which contain only coordination pair are the complexes which contains coordination pair as well as ionic pair. Okay, that we discussed in the classification of types of complexes. So here first, if complex is molecular or non-ionic, okay, the name must be written in single word. Okay, if the complex is molecular or non-ionic, means a complex which consists only coordination pair. For example, if you take, so this is the complex. Okay, so its name is tetracarbonyl nickel 0. Okay, tetracarbonyl nickel 0. So here it is the oxidation state of the metal that we discuss in the next rule. Okay, clear? So see, its name is a tetracarbonyl nickel. In a single word we have to write the name because only we have coordination pair. This is a molecular complex or it is also called as non-ionic complex. Okay, in a single word we have to write the name. Clear? Next, suppose if a given complex is ionic compound, means which consists coordination pair as well as ionic pair. In that case, first we have to write the name of the cationic pair. Okay, first we have to write the name of the cationic pair and then followed by name of the anionic pair. In some books it is given as cationic part, in some books cationic sphere. Okay, both are correct, no problem, you can use any one. Okay, so first we have to write the cationic part name followed by the anionic part name with a single space between the cationic part and anionic part. Okay, so we have to leave a single space. A single space is left between the cationic part and anionic part. Okay, so this is the first rule. Let us see some example here. Suppose so this is the given complex. Okay, so it is the given complex. So here, see, this is called as ionization sphere or ionic sphere. This is called coordination sphere. So this complex has two parts, but this one only one part, right? Okay, so in this case, see, first we have to write the cationic sphere. So already I explained in the previous classes, the left side part in the complex compound is cationic part, right side portion is anionic part. Okay, left side, this is in the left side of the complex, so that's why cationic part, and this is anionic part. So its name is potassium. Okay, potassium. Leave the space, single space. Okay, so and then hexacyano. So now we have 6 cyanide ligands. So hexacyano, or we can write hexacyanido also. Both are correct. Okay, hexacyano ferrate 2. Hexacyano ferrate 2. Okay, so first cationic pair name and then anionic pair name. So now we have left a single space between these two. If you write it continuously, that is wrong. You must leave single space between these two. Clear? Next, let us take another example here. So now in this complex, see here now coordination sphere is in the cationic position and this ionic sphere is in the anionic position. So first its name we have to write. So here hexamine, okay, hexamine, hexamine, 6 ligands are present, hexamine, platinum, and oxidation state of platinum is +4, okay, hexamine, platinum 4, chloride. Okay, so this is the IUPAC name of this complex. Same here. First we have written the cationic part name and left a single space and then anionic sphere name. Okay, so hexamine platinum 4 chloride. Okay, so this will give the oxidation state of the metal. Okay, so this is the first rule. Very simple. If only molecular or non-ionic complex is given, write the name in a single word. Okay, but if the complex has a cationic part as well as anionic part, in that case first cationic position name followed a space and then anionic position. Same here also. This is in cation position, so its name, leave a space and then anion position we have chloride. Okay, so this is the rule 1 for the order of naming of complex. Next, naming of coordination sphere. Okay, so it is finished. Next one is the naming of the coordination sphere. How to give name for this one? Yes or no? A coordination sphere consists metal as well as the ligands which are bonded to the metal. See here, this is the coordination sphere. Metal is present, bonded ligands are present. This is the coordination sphere. Metal is present, bonded ligands are present. Okay, so coordination sphere consists metal and the bonded ligands. Now, first here we have to write the name of the ligands. Okay, while writing the name of the coordination sphere, we have to first write the name of the ligands followed by name of metal. Okay, first ligand's name and then metal name, and then we have to write the oxidation state of the metal in the brackets by using Roman numbers. Okay, see, look at this complex here. Already we have written the name. Hexacyano, name of the ligand first. Yes or no? Look at this one. Coordination sphere we are considering. Hexacyano. Cyano ligand is present. How many ligands? 6. So hexacyano ferrate, and we have represented oxidation state of metal in the brackets by using Roman numbers. Yes or no? Never write like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is wrong. We must represent in the Roman numbers only. See here. Okay, hexaamine. 6 amine ligands are there. So first name of the ligand and then name of the metal and then in brackets the oxidation state of metal in the Roman numbers. Okay, so this is the second rule. Okay, naming of coordination sphere. First order of naming of complex. Only coordination sphere is present, no problem. Write the name of the ligand, metal and oxidation state. Simple. But if the complex has both coordination sphere and ionic sphere, in that case, first cation position and then anion position, you must leave a single space between the cationic position and anionic position. And then the naming of coordination sphere. Okay. So in the coordination sphere, first we are writing the name of the ligand, and then we are writing the name of the metal, and in the brackets we are writing oxidation state like this in the Roman numbers. Okay, clear? So now next let us discuss how to give the names for the ligands. Okay, now let us see rule 3, naming of ligands. Okay, how to write the names of the ligands. So first one is name of the neutral ligands. Okay, so here most of the neutral ligands, they have names as they in the organic chemistry or in the inorganic chemistry. Okay, generally this coordination chemistry is a separate part in the chemistry. Okay, like organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, physical chemistry. Okay, so here most of the neutral ligands, they have their names as in organic and inorganic chemistry. For example, if you take NH2 NH2 or N2H4, okay, so what is this hydrazine? Okay, so its name is same in the coordination chemistry or organic or inorganic chemistry. Okay, so suppose C6H5N, okay, its name is pyridine. Okay, pyridine. Suppose CH3NH2, methylamine. Okay, so this type of neutral ligands names is same in the coordination chemistry and in organic and inorganic. But for some ligands special names were given. Okay, for some ligands special names were given. For example, H2O, aqua. So no, it is water, and in the coordination chemistry H2O is called as aqua. Ligand name is aqua. NH3, amine. Okay, in the organic and inorganic chemistry just a small change. There we use amine, AMINE, and here AMMINE, amine. Okay, and CO, carbonyl, but its name in the organic and inorganic chemistry is carbon monoxide, but in the coordination chemistry carbonyl. Okay, so carbonyl, carbon monoxide. Suppose we have CS, thiocarbonyl, okay, or thiocarbonyl. NO, nitrosyl. Okay, but its name in the general case, in the case of organic or inorganic chemistry, its name is nitric oxide or nitrogen monoxide. Okay, and in the same way NS, thionitrosyl. Okay, so some neutral ligands special names were given. So these are the some examples. Already we discussed all the neutral ligands in the classification of ligand. There you can see. Okay, next, naming of positive ligands. Okay, so any positively charged ligands always ends with the word IUM. Okay, so any positively charged ligands always its name end with the word IUM. Okay, for example, H3O plus hydronium. Okay, NO2 plus nitronium, NO plus nitrosonium. Okay, see, any positively charged ligand, its name is ending with the word IUM. Hydronium, nitronium, nitrosonium, like this. Okay, simple. Next, naming of negative ligands. Okay, name of the any negatively charged ligand ends with a letter O. Okay, ends with a letter O. For example, H minus, hydrido. Okay, hydrido. Cl minus, chloro or chlorido. Okay, chloro or chlorido. Cn minus, cyano or cyanido. Okay, see here it is ends with a word with a letter O. Okay, so here actually in the old system we used cyano, chloro like this, but in the recent nomenclature rules that is changed to cyanido, chlorido like this. Okay, so whatever it may be, the name of any negative ligand is ending with a letter O. See here, or you can take any example, SO4 minus 2, sulfato. Okay, SO4 minus 2, sulfato. It is also ending with a letter O. Okay, so this in this way naming of ligands we can give. Okay, for the name of neutral ligands, here no problem. Here you should concentrate because Some ligand they have given special names only in the coordination chemistry. These you should concentrate. Okay. And any positive ligand end with the word IUM, and any negatively charged ligand end with a letter O. Okay. Now let us see naming of ambidentate ligands. Okay. So in the naming of ligands we are discussing fourth point. Okay. So how to give names for the ambidentate ligand? So what is an ambidentate ligand? Already we discussed in the previous lectures. We discussed especially about ambidentate ligands. Okay. If a ligand has more than one donor site, okay, in one complex that use one donor atom, in another complex that use another donor atom, okay, they are called as ambidentate ligands. Okay. So when ambidentate ligand is bonded to the metal, okay, suppose ambidentate ligand is present in the complex, in such case, after writing the name of the ligand, we have to write the donor atom symbol. Okay, so as it is, we write the name of the ligand, but after writing the name of the ligand, we have to write the donor atom symbol. Both should be separated with hyphen. Okay, so ligand name. First we have to write the ligand name, separate, write hyphen, and then write the donor atom. Okay, for example, Cn minus. Okay, so for some ambidentate ligands already special names were given, so in that case no need to mention the donor atom symbol. Okay, for example this one, this may bonded to the metal through carbon, in this case cyanido. Okay, cyanido. In some books it is given that, okay, cyanido C also. Okay, cyanido C. Okay, cyanido C is also given, but this is the most standard one. Okay, but some books this is also given. Or suppose if that is bonded to the metal through the nitrogen, in this case the name is isocyanidO. Okay, isocyanidO, or it is also given that cyanido N. Okay, so here this ligand is, this indicates that the ligand is bonded to the metal through the carbon, and this indicates that the ligand is bonded to the metal through the nitrogen. Okay, so this donor atom symbol here we are writing, but prefer this one. Okay, most of the standard books they are following this one only, cyanido, and for this one isocyanidO. Okay, and in the same way, suppose if you take NO2 minus, for this one we have, okay, so here nitrito N. Okay, you can write nitrito N, or it is also given as nitro. Okay, nitro, or this may be bonded in this way also, ONO. Okay, so in this case the name we have to write nitrito O. Okay, nitrito N means this ligand is bonded to the metal through the nitrogen atom, so that's why here we are writing donor atom symbol. Okay, so by separating with hyphen, or if in this way it is bonded to the metal, then nitrito O. So this indicates through which atom the ligand is bonded to the metal, or simply we can write here nitrito. Okay, nitrito. Okay, so another example here is very important. Yes, 2O3 2 minus, very important here, thiosulfato. So here see here, the ligand is bonded to the metal through the oxygen atom, so here the name is thiosulfato O. Okay, thiosulfato O, or this may be bonded to the metal through the sulfur atom also. In this case thiosulfato S. Okay, So thiosulfato O, thiosulfato S, same ligand, but the donor atom is different. Here oxygen is the donor atom and here sulfur is the donor atom. So that's why here thiosulfato O and thiosulfato S. Okay, so in the same way we can write for the any ambidentate ligands. Okay, now let us see how to give numbering of ligands. In the same naming of the ligands, numbering of ligands, fifth point. Okay, so ligands are generally two types, simple ligands and complex ligands. Okay, so if coordination sphere consists simple ligands more than one time, same ligand present 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, like that. Okay, simple ligand is more than one time, then to represent its number we use the prefixes as we use in organic. Suppose we have 2, the prefix is di, 3 times repeated, the prefix is tri. Suppose 4 times it is repeated, tetra, 5 times penta, okay, 6 times hexa, like this. Okay, so if the same ligand is repeated more than one time, these prefixes we have to use. This is simple, no problem. The simple ligands means the ligands which have only one atom, or like amine, aqua. For those type of ligands we have to use these prefixes. But if the complex ligand is present more than one time, we cannot use these prefixes. Okay, these prefixes are only for which ligands? Simple ligands. Okay, but suppose if complex ligand is present more than one time, in that case we cannot use these numbers. There we have to use separate prefixes. Suppose complex ligand is repeated 2 times, then we have to use the prefix bis, 3 times tris, okay, 4 times tetrakis, okay, 5 times pentakis, like this. Okay, so if complex ligand is repeated more than one time, if the complex ligand, so what is complex ligand? Complex ligand means bulky ligands. Okay, complex ligands may be bulky ligands or the ligands which already have the words like di, tri, tetra. Okay, so in this, these are considered as complex ligands. Okay, any ligand which is bulky ligand means very big ligand. Okay, are the ligands which already have the words like di, tri, tetra in their name. Suppose en, ethylene diamine. In that name already di is present, so we cannot write diethylene diamine. That is not correct. So in that case we have to use 2 bis. For 2 times bis, 3 times tris, like this. Okay, very important this one. So many times direct questions are asked in the different entrance examinations. Okay, complex ligand, which is considered as complex ligand, the ligand which is a very bulky ligand, very large size, or the ligands which already have the words like di, tri, tetra. Yes or no? Suppose EDT, ethylene diamine tetraacetato, en, ethylene diamine or ethane 1,2 diamine. Okay, triene, triethylene tetramine. Those all already we discussed. Okay, so in those type of ligands we have to use these prefixes. So very important this case. Okay, direct questions are asked already. Okay, clear? So this is the numbering of ligand. This already we know, just we use in the organic chemistry. Okay, so these prefixes, these are for the simple ligands and these are for the complex ligands. Okay, after all the rules I will explain the complexes which have complex ligand and how to write their names. Okay, so here you should concentrate more on this rule. Okay, now after writing these prefixes, this is also important point you should remember. Okay, after writing above prefix, okay, after writing the above prefix, the name of ligand is written in brackets only. Okay, clear? Remember this note. Okay, suppose we have ethylene diamine, for example. Let us take an example, you can understand easily. So this is the complex given. Okay, so here its name is, see here we have 3 En ligands, so that's why tris, 3 times it is repeated, tris in the brackets. Okay, tris ethane 1,2 diamine. Okay, this is the IUPAC name of this one, or you can write ethylene diamine also, but this is more standard. Okay, tris ethane 1,2 diamine cobalt 3 chloride. Okay, tris ethane 1,2 diamine cobalt 3 chloride. Okay, so here this one consists, see, both coordination sphere, ionization sphere. Here we have to leave a single space between this name and this name. Okay, clear? So this is about numbering of ligands. Next we discuss the another very special case, that how to write the name of the bridged ligands in the case of bridged ligands. So let us see one of the most important type of complexes, that is bridged complexes. In the bridged complexes we have bridged ligands, right? Already we discussed what is a bridged ligand in the previous lecture. So naming of bridged ligands we discuss. So here we have different cases. Any bridged ligand name we use a prefix mu. Okay, so for the bridged ligands, before the name of the ligand we use a prefix mu and we use hyphen here. Okay, so mu, hyphen and name of the ligand. Okay, so here we have different possibilities. First case is if only one ligand acts as a bridge between metal atoms. Okay, if only one ligand acts as a bridge between metal atoms. Suppose like this. Suppose let us take it as chlorido. Okay, so how we write here? Mu chlorido. Okay, mu chlorido. Before the name of the bridge ligand we have to use a symbol mu and separate with hyphen. Okay, so here in this case we have to write for the bridge ligand if only one ligand is present as a bridge ligand. Okay, clear? Very simple. Next, if same ligand acts as a bridge between two metals more than one time. Okay, same ligand acts as a bridge between two metals more than one time, then we have to use the multiplicative prefixes like di, tri, tetra. So now how many ligands are bridging, that we have to indicate. So that, for example, general complex we are taking here, whatever it may be the ligand charge. Okay, only we are discussing bridged ligand. So here how can we write? Mu dichlorido or mu chlorido. Okay, see here no need to write the hyphen. Okay, so in this way we can write, both are correct, mu dichlorido or mu chlorido. Some books using this one and some other books they are giving in this way. Both are correct, no problem. Okay, so if same ligand is present more than one time, then we are using multiplicative prefixes. Suppose same three ligands are bridging same ligand, then we use here mu trichlorido or mu chlorido, like that. Okay, so anyone you can follow your wish. Next, if different ligands act as a bridge between metal atoms. Okay, so suppose two different ligands acts as bridge between two metal atoms, then we have to write their names in the alphabetical order. This is general rule. Okay, suppose for example, See, in this complex we have bromine and chlorine. Both are acting as bridging ligand. So in this case, how to write the name? So first you have to see these two. Which will come first in the alphabetical order? Bromido, chlorido. B and C. So this will come first. So mu bromido, mu chlorido. Okay, see, after this metal name, those all are, everything are same. Only we are discussing how to write naming of bridged ligand. Okay, see, after this metal name will come and its oxidation, all those stories are same. Here also, here we get the metal name and oxidation state, same story. Here also we are discussing. So two different ligands are there, so that's why we have to write their name in the alphabetical order. You must mention the symbol before the name of every bridged ligand. Remember that. Mu bromido, mu chlorido. Okay, if you write only for this one mu bromido, if you don't write this one, means this is not a bridged ligand. Yes or no? If something is bridged ligand, means we must use this symbol. Here you should be very careful. Okay, how many types of ligands may be present? If more than one ligand is present, you should write them in the alphabetical order, and before every ligand name you must use this symbol. Okay, mu. Right? Next, see, this one is very special, these two. Okay, suppose if bridged and non-bridged ligands are different. Okay, bridged and non-bridged ligands are different, then we have to write the non-bridged ligand name followed by the bridged ligand name with a symbol mu. Okay, for example, suppose this is the ligand. See here, whatever it may be the metal, according to the given example, we can write the names. Okay, see here, bridged ligands are chlorido, and these are called as non-bridged ligands. Okay, so these non-bridged ligands are amine. Okay, so now see here, if bridged and non-bridged ligands are different, right? This is chlorido, this is amine, different. In that case, first we should write the non-bridged ligand's name. After that only we should write the bridged ligand's name. Very important. Okay, so what is its name? So non-bridged ligands. Total we have 4 non-bridged ligands. So tetramine. Okay, tetramine dimuchlorido. Okay, so tetramine dimuchlorido. Okay, tetramine dimuchlorido. Okay, after that this metal name, oxidation state same. Okay, so first here, what is the condition? We should write the non-bridged priority. Non-bridged priority is greater than bridged ligand priority. So no, very important. Okay, if non-bridged and bridged are different, in that case, first we are writing the non-bridged ligand name and then only bridged ligand name. Okay, then only we are writing bridged ligand name. So no, tetramine dimuchlorido. Okay, next, suppose if bridged and non-bridged ligands are same. Okay, bridged and non-bridged ligands are same, then bridged ligand name followed by the non-bridged ligand's name. Okay, so here for example, see here, bridged and non-bridged ligands are same. Okay, bridged and non-bridged ligands are same. So then what is its name? So in this case, whose name we have to write first? We have to write the bridged ligand name. Okay, So here mu dichlorido, okay, mu dichlorido or dimu chlorido, both are correct. Mu dichlorido tetrachlorido, okay, mu dichlorido tetrachlorido. So first we are writing the bridged ligand name with a symbol mu, and then we are writing non-bridged ligand's name. So here bridged has more priority over non-bridged ligand. Okay, so very important. If both are different, non-bridged first. If both are same, bridged first. Okay, remember any one rule, then another rule we can remember easily. Okay, if bridged and non-bridged are different, non-bridged will get more priority, means its name first and then bridged ligand. If bridged and non-bridged both are same, first we are writing the bridged ligand name and then we are writing the non-bridged ligand names. Okay, so this is about the naming of bridged ligands, very important. Okay, if only one ligand we are using a symbol mu, if same ligand repeat more than one time we are using di, tri. This any one way you can write, both are correct. And if different ligands are bridging, then we have to write their names according in the alphabetical order, and for every ligand we should use the prefix symbol mu. Okay, and these two are the special cases. Okay, bridged non-bridged are different, non-bridged first, bridged second. Bridged and non-bridged are same, then bridged first and then non-bridged ligand. Okay, clear? Now let us see in rule 3, naming of ligands we are discussing. Last one, order of naming of ligands. Up to now, how to give the names and numbering, all those we discussed. This is the final case, order of naming of ligand. Suppose if we have more than one type of ligand, then we have to write their names in the alphabetical order. Yes, sir, that is general case, very simple. If coordination sphere consists different types of ligands, then give their names according to the alphabetical order. Okay, according to alphabetical order. But here you should keep a very important note in your mind that this alphabetical order of ligands to give with respect to the name of the ligands, not with respect to the prefix which we use. Okay, so here let us see with an example, you can understand easily. So this is the complex given. Okay, what is its name? See, here we have two different ligands. Okay, one is chlorido, one is ethane, ethylene diamine or ethane 1,2 diamine. Okay, so its name is dichlorido. Okay, dichlorido, because we have two chlorido ligands, bis ethane 1,2 diamine cobalt. Okay, ethane 1,2 diamine cobalt 3 chloride. See here, the name of the ligand is chlorido. Here the name of the ligand is ethane 1,2 diamine. But remember that we should never consider these prefixes while you are taking the alphabetical order. You should never consider this prefix letters. Only you should consider the first letter in the name of the ligand. See here, chlorido. Di is just a prefix, right? What is the name of the ligand? Chlorido. And here the name of the ligand is ethane 1,2 diamine. So which comes first? C comes first when compared to E. So that's why first we are writing dichlorido bis ethane 1,2 diamide. Okay, cobalt 3 chloride. See here we left space between cationic sphere and anionic sphere, which already we discussed in the very first rule, right? Okay, so this is about the naming of ligands. We have final rule, that is how to write name of the metal. Okay, now let us see the last one, rule 4, naming of metal. Up to now we discussed what is the order, how to write the names of the different types of ligands and what is the order, all those we discussed. And final one is naming of metal. So here we have two cases. First one is when coordination sphere does not carry any charge, neutral complex. Okay, coordination sphere does not have any charge like this, which already we discussed these types. Or when coordination sphere carries positive charge, maybe no charge, or coordination sphere carries positive charge, or the coordination sphere is in cationic position. See, already we discussed in the ionic complexes, left portion is cationic position, right side part is the anionic part. Okay, so in all these three cases, coordination sphere no charge, or if coordination sphere has positive charge, or if coordination sphere is in the cationic position, in all these cases there is no change in the name of the metal. Metal name will be as it is, vanadium. If vanadium is present, vanadium. If chromium is present, chromium, iron, copper, like this. Okay, but see, this one is one of the most important rule in the nomenclature. Very, very important. So here we do not have any problems. Now, if coordination sphere carries a negative charge, whatever it may be, -1, -2, -3, whatever it may be, if coordination sphere carries negative charge, or the coordination sphere is in anionic position, look at the difference between these two. See here, coordination sphere is in left side, that is cationic position. Here coordination sphere is in the anionic position. Okay, so in these two cases, the name of metal end with a word 8. Okay, at the end of the name of the metal we have to add a word 8. Remember this, very, very important. When we have to add this word, when there is a negative charge on the coordination sphere, or if the coordination sphere is in the anionic position, in these two cases at the end we have to add 8. See, for vanadium, vanadate. Okay, here vanadium, but in these two cases the name changes as vanadate, chromate, ferrate, cuprate, platinate, argentate, aurate. See, this one very, very important. Don't write silverate, not silverate, it is argentate. Very, very important, argentate. Okay, see here iron, here not ironate, here we have to write ferrate. These are the very, very important things you should remember. See, this one is also important. Okay, here no problem, general, vanadate, chromate, but here we write iron in these cases, but in these two cases we write ferrate. Okay, we discuss with examples clearly, and these are the rules. Okay, clear? So naming of, while writing the name of the metal, you must focus on these things also. Coordination sphere no charge, positive charge, or it is in the cationic position, the name of the metal is the same, no change in that. But when coordination sphere has a negative charge, or it is present in the anionic position, in those two cases the name of the metal end with a word 8, and this some metals they have special names. Okay, ferrate, argentate. Now special means here we use iron, but here ferrate. Here we use silver, but here we use argentate. Okay, now let us see two more cases in this one, rule 4 only. So that is the end of the nomenclature rules. Okay, now let us see last two rules. If coordination sphere carries positive charge or negative charge, okay, maybe positive charge or negative charge, in both the cases, at the end of the name of the complex we have to add a word ion. Okay, maybe see these examples, maybe negative charge present on the complex, or maybe positive charge, whatever it may be. Follow all the rules which we discussed till now. Write the complex name, at the end add ion. Okay, for example, for this, see 6 cyanido ligand, so that's why hexa cyanido. Okay, hexa cyanido, ferrate 3 ion. Okay, ferrate 3 ion. See here, we have negative charge. Just now we discussed the rules. If there is a negative charge present on the coordination sphere or that is in the anionic position, at the end we have to add 8. Okay, so hexacyanidopherrate 3 ion. Because of charge present, so that's why we are adding at the end ion. In some books it is not given ion, but here we have to write ion also. Okay, next look at this complex. Diamine, so no, amine ligand 2 times diamine silver 1 ion. Okay, diamine silver 1 ion. See here, there is no change in the name of the metal as we discussed in the previous case. Okay, because there is a positive charge present on the coordination sphere, so that's why diamine silver 1 ion, metal name remain same. Okay, there may be negative charge or positive charge, at the end we are adding a word ion. Okay, next last one, in a coordination compound, if hydrogen is present in the cationic position, okay, this is also very important rule. Okay, in a coordination compound, if hydrogen is present in cationic position, then name of the metal end with a word ic acid. Okay, so follow all the rules which we discussed. At the end of the name of the metal add ic acid. See this, tetrafluorido, because we have fluorido ligand 4 times, so tetrafluorido boric acid. Okay, tetrafluorido boric acid 3. Okay, that is oxidation state. See here, we do not write the hydrogen name in the complex. So this is the indication, this ic acid represent that hydrogen is present in the cationic position. Very important. Okay, tetrafluorido boric acid 3. Next, look at this complex. Hexachlorido. Okay, hexachlorido platinic acid. Okay, hexachlorido platinic acid. See, we are adding ic acid at the end of the name of the metal. Okay, so here boric acid, for boron we are adding ic acid, boric acid. For platinum, here we are adding platinic acid. Okay, so these are the all the rules which we discussed: order of naming of complex and naming of the coordination sphere. Okay, and then naming of ligands, and finally we have discussed naming of metal. And here these two rules also, this one especially, this one is a special case. See, we are not at all writing hydrogen name anywhere, but this is the indication. Ic acid is present means what is the meaning? Hydrogen is present in the cationic position. Okay, clear? So in this way, if you understand these rules, just try to remember the rules and you can give the name for any coordination compound. Okay, so in the next lecture we discuss different types of complexes and how to give the names for those complexes. Okay, thank you.